Where's my gun? I thought I had it back here. Oh, here she is. Man, she's looking kind of boring. Look at this iron sight. It's so boring. Good thing the mail came today. Today we got ourselves the SIG RomeoZero Pro. And this is my first unboxing and first look at what it is. So we have the yellow receipt, and here we have the packaging. It comes, this is from Optics Planet, by the way, which this is not sponsored by any means, but they are a very cool website. It comes in this very simplistic packaging. Nothing too fancy, but this is the RomeoZero Pro, made for full-size guns such as my M18. Let's pop her on open and take a look at what the insides have. All right. So it comes with a metal shroud and the circle dot itself. And the shroud, if you were to run it, would look something like this. And on top of the gun would look something like this. I say, let's get it all assembled and then rejoin for discussion. Here we have the sight installed. Just a quick overview of the sight. You have a rear. It's not tritium, but it's kind of like the glow-in-the-dark texture. So when the sun hits it, this will light up and this will glow. And it also kind of does a backup sight for the front sight if your sight were to fail. The reticle options, it has a circle dot, a MOA, a 2 MOA dot, and I think you can do just the circle, but I could be wrong. On the M18, this is a perfect sight because my biggest beef with this pistol is the fact that there is no rear sight to co-witness. So SIG kind of thought of that, I guess, or more like they fixed their own problem, and they made that little rear sight notch with the little glow-in-the-dark thing. So if your sight fails, you have some sort of backup. On this gun, which I'm gonna make a review type video on in the future, I think it is the most ideal setup to run with this sight. The trigger pull, I love P320s, that's just my thing. I think this gun is gonna be dialed. So let's go on and let's go shoot it. Welcome to nature today. We are in this land. It is the best land to go shooting. Here on me, I have my SIG M18 with the SIG RomeoZero Pro red dot. We're gonna go down here and we're gonna shoot some rounds and see how the red dot is. I sighted it in. Yesterday I sighted it in, so it should be good and ready to go. So we're gonna start. I have 15 rounds loaded. This should be sighted in, but we're just gonna go for this target just down the way. It's just an orange 10-inch gong. We're about probably 10 to 15 yards out, and we'll see how accurate we can be. All right, so my first impressions with this red dot sight, it is my only red dot that I have owned for a pistol, and this is my first one, so keep that in mind. But some things that I love about it are the sight picture. The sight picture is a little bit wider than, let's say, the traditional RomeoZero where it has flat walls. It goes out a little tiny bit, so you can see just a little bit more when you're trying to acquire your target. The reticle options, I have only used the circle dot thus far, but it is nice to have the ability to have just a dot as well as a circle if you want to switch between the two, maybe for accuracy and maybe for like close quarters sight acquiring. The other thing that I love about it specifically is on my P320, there is no rear sight, if you can't tell. And that is super annoying. So I really like that they included the rear sight with the little glow-in-the-dark line. And what's also cool is that it lines up with the stock iron sights. It's not as good as rear sights, but if your sight died for whatever reason, you could definitely get away with just using the rear and the front sight. Would I recommend buying this sight? I would say yeah, just personally. I've only put maybe 70 rounds through it, but so far I love it, and I've carried it in my holster like this for one day, for part of a day, and it has, yet to annoy me. So this red dot is $250, and with shipping it was $260. And for that price point, you can't really get anything like this. I think the next closest is the HoloSun 408 or something, I believe. So for the price point, excellent. On the SIG M18, excellent. If you have maybe another gun with rear sights, maybe that rear sight thing is not a priority to you. But for me, on the SIG M18, this one that we have here, which like I said, I'm gonna make a whole nother video on this gun later. Excellent choice of optic for this gun and for this setup. I don't really have much else to say. So